Heavy Metal Steve here, with a heavy metal rhythm guitar tutorial. That section I just played was of a song I wrote. Had quite a bit of different rhythm guitar techniques in it, which a lot of them I'll explain in this lesson. It's kind of a beginner to intermediate rhythm guitar lesson for people that want to play classic metal and thrash metal, death metal kind of shit. Teach you the basics, palm muting, just for a second, because you probably already know how to do that, and you're going to do that pretty much in all metal, and then kind of get down picking and doing some accents, and basically giving you the structural components to writing your own riffs, which I think a lot of people have a hard time doing. There's a lot of excellent guitar players that can do a lot of covers, and they're just pretty much flawless, but when it comes to writing their own original riffs, they might have some struggles there. So hopefully I can unlock some doorways for new guitar rhythm writing for you guys. So let's jump into it. Alright, so the very first thing I want to show you is palm muting. And I'm only going to show this for a second because, like I said, I think you guys mostly know how to do that. You just use this fleshy part of your palm here, and you just rest it on your E. Basically these mainly 3 strings. You're going to do it to all strings, but just mainly rest your fleshy part of your palm on your bridge here, resting it on there, and it should sound something like this. Without palm muting, it should sound something like this. So, getting right into it, once you kind of mess around with that for a second if you need to, then let's just do one downstroke, and then lift your palm off and then hit it without a palm mute. So alright, mess with that as long as it takes. Kind of just do some downstrokes if you have to, and then do some without. Kind of mix it up, but right now we're just doing one downstroke, one accent. Once you get a hold of that, try 2 downstrokes, and then raise your palm off the palm mute for an accent after 2 strokes. So start real slow if you have to. Or really fast. Then after that, try 3. Once you start doing 3 downstrokes before you do an accent, this is an accent. I mean, that could be anything from individual notes, like you saw in another song. Whoops. Anything from power chords. Whatever. Just right now we're just doing an accent as a open string. So after you get, like I was saying, with 3 and 4, sometimes it's good to do this. Try to get the idea of what 3 sounds like before you start going fast. And then the 4th one, your 4th stroke, is going to be the accent. Might be doing 4. Hold on. I think I'm doing 4, but we're gonna do that anyway. But when you're writing a song, you're probably you're gonna have that locked down, and kind of just by the feel of it. 3. We'll do 4. Anyway, you're going to kind of, when you're writing your own riffs or you're learning a song, you're going to know what that is just by the feel of it. Because in the beginning of that example I played, I'm doing just kind of random, not random, but kind of time notes where I don't really know the count when I write the song, so I wouldn't be able to really explain it because it's so fast, but... So you just kind of get the feel of it. Mess around with the accents with the downstrokes. Mess with power chords. Kind of get the idea. Alright, so now we're going to focus on a technique known in the metal world as a gallop in the guitar world. Should sound something like this. If you palm mute, we're in E, just normal E standard tuning here. So if I just palm mute my E string and I kind of do something like this. That's essentially what a basic gallop is. And then, so all I'm doing is palm muting and doing these quick bursts, up and down strokes on the string. Exercise I want to do with these, just to kind of jump in there, is just to do a downstroke, a palm muted downstroke, and then a gallop. So basically, and then try 2 downstrokes. With the 2 and the 3 downstrokes, it's starting to sound a little bit more thrash metal, a little bit more musical. So that's 3. 3 downstrokes. And then when you get up to it, try 4. So just work on the 1 and the 2 downstrokes, and then the 3. Just kind of mess around. Try to do it fretting stuff. Just try it on different stuff. just kind of work with it. And that's essentially what it is. Try to mix downstrokes just into gallops, kind of like, that's kind of what I was doing earlier. Kind of mess with it. And that's essentially what it is. Just quick burst. And then you just keep working on your gallops, and then we'll try to do a riff here shortly. Alright, so now that we checked out down picking and galloping and palm muting and accenting and all that stuff, we're gonna move on to something what's in between alternate picking, which is just up and down. So that's just alternate picking up and down, but you can make it pretty groovy by kind of doing some rhythm in it. For example, let's see if I can do something here. See what I mean? Kind of just randomly playing there, but you get an idea. So we know the gallop is like this, right? And this is more like it's a gallop. See, we're kind of just grooving out, alternate picking like this, but it's not the same tempo the whole time. You're doing different tempos and accents in it. So maybe a good place to start would be doing just what I just did there. So just do some, and then with the same time hit an accent with the downstroke or an upstroke like that was. So kind of a simple explanation of the next thing. We'll actually be trying to play something here. So I'd like to teach you how to play that riff I just played. I'm assuming at this point, if you still want to learn to play the riff and you made it this far, you already know how to do all the basics that I went over earlier with the downstroking and the galloping. Very first thing you do to play the riff is hit this power chord on the 7th fret of the A and the D string together. Both strings at the same time. So you hit that power chord and then you do a gallop. And then you land into a different power chord, which is the 7th fret on the A string and the 9th fret on the D string. So after you hit this, you obviously gallop again. So it should sound like this if you did it repetitively. So after you do it once, then you jump to the next. You jump to the 5th and the 7th, and you do the same thing. And then you do it again on the 3rd and the 5th. So and then you jump into that little slide thing where you continue, you do the gallop, you keep galloping. So you gallop, and then you hit gallop into this power chord, slide, and then hit a downstroke. So gallop. And then you jump back into it. So we'll be playing with a metronome. Where did I put that? It's right here. Playing at 100 beat per minute. You don't have to if you don't have one. You might be able to download an app on a smartphone. I'm sure there's a bunch of it. A bunch of them. But anyway, at 100 beats per minute, you're doing it on each click. So saying my mic is too loud at some point. I think it might be this metronome. Shit! But anyway, on the beat, you just run through that same pattern. Let's do it 3 times. So 3 times you go from this. That's 1. So it sounds like this. So that's it. Probably sound better with 4 times. You can do it 4 times, but if you're just trying to run through the riff and try to get better, do it 3 times. Because you want to hold on to a riff for a second, just to kind of let the listener feel it out. Let the drummer do some stuff. Repeat a riff a few times before you jump into the next one. Otherwise, you're just playing a bunch of riffs. They're all different. That they just don't. It never goes into a groovy feel or anything that the listener can remember, and it kind of turns the listener off. So you do it 3 times. And on the 3rd time you do that, you do it extra times. I'm going to break down that slide a little better. So downstroke again, and then you just slide up again without striking. Maybe it is my guitar that's blowing the speaker. There we go. I'm not sure. What the fuck? What the hell? Is that clicking really that loud? Alright, there we go. Shit. Well, anyway, 3 times, and then on the last time, after you do it 3 times, you go extra time. So overall, I'll play it fully once more, and we'll jump into the second part. Alright, hopefully I can explain this pretty thoroughly, this next part, as I hated when I was learning how to play the guitar. There'd be some pretty good instructors, but they just go over it once, and you better get it or you'll be rewinding the video trying to figure out what they're doing with their hands. So I'm going to try to explain it, even if I'm babbling on about the same riff over and over again. I'm just doing it so you guys can get a hold of it. And if I didn't explain it before, I'll explain it now, that once you get to this part, shit, you just do it before you go to the next section of the next riff. You do it 3 times, so and then you jump into this, right back to where we were with this power chord, but now we're doing downstrokes instead of the gallop. So power chord, 2 downstrokes to a slide. So and then you hit it again like that. You hit the same power chord again. Do that for a bit if you have to. So after you do that, you hit that again, then you go, and then you go do the same riff again. So the actual riff goes. So again, we're doing the 7th, 9th, then the 5th, 7th, 3rd, 5th. So explain that part here in a second. So doing it a couple different ways, but the way that it should be done is so once you go through the chord progression, so once you go to once you go up here once, you come down here again and go. And what I'm doing is I'm just for a second with the power chord, kind of. So all I'm doing is going up and down on the string, palm muted, and then I'm going into a chord. So far we have let's actually pull out the metronome again, and we'll do it on the click. So try to hit these power chords on the click. That's how you go into the next riff. Let me think of how many times you did the whole. I do the whole thing. Like we did this one 3 times. You only do this one twice. On the second time. And that'll be the next riff. Alright, and this is the last riff that we'll be going over, and then we'll try to do it all together in the end. Incorporate all of them. Something cool to practice when you're warming up to do your own thing, whatever you're doing, covering something or writing something. Hopefully this all helps you out. This last riff is probably going to be the hardest. And how we came out of it was from the previous power chord up here. And then you go into this power chord, which is just, now we've been fretting multiple strings. Now we're just fretting one. We're fretting the A string, and we're hitting the open E. We're still striking both strings, but we're doing a power chord, so. Final riff. There'll be some different stuff that I haven't really went over with you, so it'll just take some time and practice. So once you go from the power chord, you hit this other kind of power chord I just showed you, where you hit open E and you're just fretting the A string on the 2nd fret. You're doing that double downstroke thing again, and then back into it. So after we do that, Then we gallop. We're doing a gallop just like this, but we're hitting an extra downstroke to make it sound like that. So that, and then we're doing the same thing that we've been doing with that slide. So after the gallop the second time, now you're doing this power chord that we were doing before with the slide, and then back to that. So the first slide is this one. So the slide comes after the gallop. So you hit down, 2 downstrokes, and then you do that gallop with that little extra downstroke in the end. So, and then again, and then this one, and then again, and after that last one, again I'm kind of focusing the song on kind of groups of 3 and 4. So you're doing this riff, and then that power chord, and this one one more time, and then after you do that, then we come down to the 7th fret, then we do some gallops again. So on the third, so overall, that slide, and then that slide, into the same one again. So overall, it sounds like this. That time I kind of muffled the thing, but you're basically muffling the. So I'm just kind of going galloping. Kind of gives it a unique sound, or you can kind of make your galloping sound more clear. Alright, like I said, mumbling about the same riffs over and over again. Go back to it just in case you're struggling. So after then probably start with downstrokes at first before we go into the gallop. So practice this. And it's the 7th, 2 downstrokes, 9th, the 9th, 10th, and then you jump down to the D string that we haven't played with too much on the individual note. We haven't done any individual notes really. So overall it's, and then you go back to it. So doing it different ways, doing it with downstrokes, and I'm doing it with gallops, kind of whatever I feel. Like live, probably do whatever, and you would know because there'd be a drummer and a bassist, and there'd probably be some vocals, or there'd definitely be some lead guitar over it or whatever. So you're not going to notice little inconsistencies with the stroking or whatever. But right now we're just guitar, so you hear every little fuck up or whatever. So once you do this, doing it with downstrokes or galloping. You know, I was hitting it with the pinch harmonic, but if you don't know how to do that, I'm not explaining it in this video. That's some other stuff. Bend it a little bit, and then we're jumping back into the same riff again. That's it with some gallops. Then you go back to it. And you do that twice. So overall, like this. And then once on the second time you do it, then you do it again with maybe after you do the, oh that's right, the second time, once you do it the second time, instead of jumping back up here, you just go. Alright, so we're just going to go over this last section of this riff progression that we've been working on, and this one right here. And that comes in just right after this. So after you do this slide here, you just jump, you can slide if you can make it sound good, or just hop to this 7th fret, 7th, then the 9th, and then the 10th. Doing it with downstrokes, probably a good way to start. It sounds good either way, or you can use gallops. So 7, 9, 10, and then 9 again on the D string. This is all on the A string. And then you hit the D string there. And the first time you play through the riff, you just hit that once, and then jump into it again, and then the second time you do this little lick. So, together it sounds like this. And that gallop that you do after you hit that note is just 2 downstrokes followed by gallop. So once you actually finally hit this note like that and you do the gallop, you hit it again. You hit the 7th into the 9th into the 7th into the 10th on the A string, and then to the 9th on the A string, and then to the 10th on the E string. So this last 3 notes you're playing is just with your pinky and your ring finger here. Which might be difficult if you're not used to doing anything. with your pinky and stuff. But I really recommend you play with your pinky a lot. There's a lot of shredders that just use these fingers. This thing, that's what you need to know how to use. And then the big stretches and chords and everything are way easier. But anyway, you just do this little treble picking thing. Kind of bend it down a little bit. So after that gallop, let's pull out the metronome and jam on track for a minute. Still at 100 beats per minute. Try to play on the click on this part. All together. Let's play it. Try to play it with some feeling, because that's what metal's all about. Playing with some feeling. Try to get into it here. Fucked up. Let's do it again. So when you do this part, try to, you kind of hang on to it, but then you hit it on the click. Try to stay on the, when you flow and do it again, you'll know it when you're on the click, like this. Yep. One more time, just for good measure. If you have to do this, I'm doing this lick alternate picking, but you can downstroke it. And that's everything. Hopefully this heavy metal rhythm tutorial lesson was somewhat helpful. I know it's kind of difficult when you're just starting out playing guitar and you want to play metal. You can't just go to a local guitar teacher and be like, hey, show me some Iron Maiden, or I want to play some Pantera or Death or Cannibal Corpse or anything like that. So and YouTube has some good stuff, but a lot of teachers I've learned just they need to talk a little bit more, explain each thing. So I hope you guys got something out of it. Stay metal, and if you want some more advanced stuff, probably be happy to do that, and some drop down tunings, or I just played an E for that because I'm assuming that most beginner and intermediate players are playing in E standard. So I mainly play in drop C and stuff. So have a good day, guys.